What is up, beautiful people? Peg City Lovely here, walking down the waterfront here in Winnipeg, and I have a companion with me today, someone that you need to know, because him and his business partner are doing something pretty amazing in Winnipeg, all about convenience meals, but not just any kind of meals. We're talking really good, locally vetted, healthy meals for your family. It's called Prairie Box, and this is Glassey.
Hello.
So we're gonna walk and talk with you guys, and I'm gonna find a little bit more about Prairie Box and why you need to take heed and check them out. All right, so Prairie Box.
Yes.
To me, when I heard the name, I kind of had an idea of what it was. But then I saw the logo, which looks somewhat like wheat. Is it wheat?
Yeah.
In a box. So I was like, okay, it's
pretty
food.
literal.
Yeah, pretty literal. So it's food. And yeah, so tell me the vision. Tell me how you and Brandon came up with this idea.
Sure. So basically Prairie Box started with myself and my partner Brandon Schofield. We're both trained chefs. We've both been in the industry for 10 years, and we wanted to do something different. We wanted to, you know, there's your classic restaurant idea, but there's a new emerging lifestyle trend where people maybe don't want to go out to restaurants. But they also maybe don't have the time or inclination to cook at home.
Yes.
So, I mean, Brandon, my partner, he's the father of 2 young daughters. Him and his wife are running around doing a million things. You know, they come home and then they make sure the kids are fed, they play with them, put them in bed, and then, you know, fall asleep on the couch with a box of crackers. You know?
Yeah, as a mother of 3 and a busy mom who works full-time, and my fiance works full-time, having the ability to come home and have something ready-made for dinner or something that I can easily put together for dinner is huge, because again, we all have these big full-time jobs where our days are spent more with strangers than they are with our families. And so when you get to the end of the day, the last thing you want to be doing, some of us, is spending another 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen cooking, and then boom, you go to bed, right? So for us, something like Prairie Box is you know, instrumental to making sure that we still get our family time and we are still eating healthy. And I think that's the part I love the most, is that it's locally sourced food and you working with farmers.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, tell us about that.
Well, basically, so what Prairie Box is it every week you sign up at prairiebox.com and you subscribe to our service. You tell us how many meals you want. They're, you know, meals that are the size of, you know, one good hearty meal per person.
Okay.
You can order between 4 and 12, and then we also offer fresh salads like the quinoa salad that I gave you today.
I will get to try.
And then yeah, so you order those, and then you can just basically eat them throughout the week. They're really good for filling those gaps in time where, you know, sure, you're gonna have time to cook, you know, a few meals, but sometimes you just don't, and you don't wanna, you know, and you don't wanna have to go eat fast food. You don't wanna have to, you know, spend 2 hours chasing the kids around and trying to cook. It's, you know, it's a nightmare. Or, you know, if you're a busy professional, not just parents, you know, but just people who lead busy lives. You got a bunch of work to do. You got a million things. You just don't want to. And so we decided that we wanted to do something that would give people access to fresh, healthy food. And like you said, Natalie, you know, we go to local farms. We, you know, work really hard trying to find all these delicious, locally sourced ingredients so that people know where their food's coming from. They know that it's not full of preservatives.
Yes.
And they get something that's really handmade.
And I think our family, for example, is really on this more of a natural, organic, local journey as we eat. And so knowing that there's Prairie Box right here in our own city, I'm not going anywhere else to look. They don't have to ship from God knows where to get it to me. Mm-hmm. That is key. I love that. And you guys are both trained cooks, so I know I'm not gonna die from nothing. These guys are trained chefs, so I mean that says a lot too, right? Because it's not like you're decided you're a computer technologist one day and let's just start a subscription box for food.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have a passion for what you do, and that's the key to me as well.
Yeah, well, and you know, Brandon and I both, like you said, have been or are trained chefs, and we both complement each other super well. He spent 10 years working in you know, large, high volume restaurants. He got a good feel for how to serve huge amounts of food, you know, and then also keeping a track of your numbers and keeping track of, you know, basically all the million logistical concerns you have when you're serving huge amounts of food. And myself, I took a bit of a different route. I traveled the world, cooked in a bunch of kind of smaller restaurants where we'd get a lot of local produce. We get a lot of, you know, for instance, so I lived in Australia.
Wow.
Worked at a restaurant out there, and we'd have like, you know, we'd have the fisherman bring in a cooler full of fish that he just caught right outside of the Great Barrier Reef.
Unreal.
You know, and that really fostered my passion for using local, using the freshest stuff available.
Thanks, motorcycle
Fostered
guy.
my passion for motorcycles. And, you know, Brandon shares that passion, of course, but I'm just saying, I guess, where these two paths intersect is that, you know, he's got so much experience with the logistical number side of it, and I have like a lot of experience working with the you know, working with just kind of the local, the fancy, the fun, the farmers, and this
Yes,
and
the
that.
creative side.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that's not to say that we're both useless in the other side.
No, of course not. Everyone has strengths.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you mean to say.
Yeah.
And you guys know what your strengths are, and you work well together.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, of course, you keep mentioning that you've, you know, lived other places, which I think is amazing because you came back here. You came back to Winnipeg, and that is a story in itself.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Because we were talking today over lunch that there's many times where people leave Winnipeg and they don't come back. And you came back after a visit and saw how much awesomeness is happening in our city, and you made the decision to move back here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was living out in Victoria, British Columbia, and I was born and raised Winnipeg.
Woo, woo!
St. James.
St. James represent.
That's right. And yeah, born and raised Winnipeg. And then when I was in about 2008, I left and I went to go travel the world, and I went and met a girl, a German girl, went and lived in Germany with her for 2 years. And then we were living together in Victoria, BC. And I came home to visit family for Christmas and was blown away by how much the city has changed, by how kind of up and coming Winnipeg really feels.
Yep. We're doing well, folks.
Yeah, and there's so many really cool like little niche stores, and there's cool little companies, and the people are more receptive, I think, than they ever have been to all this kind of new stuff that's happening. Winnipeg, when I left, was not the same city.
No. I think, you know, we've really started to build a better community, and folks are realizing the pride that they really have in Winnipeg is starting to shine through.
Yeah.
And that's what's making Winnipeg so fabulous right now, and I hope it continues. I think it will.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I want to talk real quick about your menus.
Okay.
So how do you come up with the menus? How, like, I couldn't even imagine the process. Like, that's extra Uber meal planning.
Yes, it's intense.
Yeah, like I'm thinking I can't even figure out this week, never mind, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you've already thought of it for me, so I'm grateful.
Yeah, no.
But how do you come up with all that?
Honestly, it comes down to a lot of things. Basically, every week we do one pork, one chicken, one veg, and one beef dish. So that's our baseline to start, and we've been incorporating different, you know, we'll be incorporating kind of more menu options. Like I say, we just added salads, but the baseline is those four. So we start there, and then we try and see what's available that week is a huge one. So this week we've got local spaghetti squash, local corn on the cob, and local quinoa coming in.
Yes.
And so then, okay, there you go. That's how you start, right? And then from there we think, well, what goes well with spaghetti squash? Which one of these kind of four options would be the best? You know, we've got the corn on the cob. So obviously we're doing Southern barbecue.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, right?
So, okay, so now you've got the menus. Now, how do you decide distribution? So is this just only in Winnipeg? Are rural areas receiving this? Or people all across Canada receiving Prairie Box?
For now, it's only inside the perimeter.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple people.
For now, people. You said for now.
For now, yeah, absolutely. So don't worry, Regina, Saskatoon, we're coming. Yeah, and it's inside the perimeter. We have a company that we work with that has, you know, refrigerated trucks, and they deliver all the meals around on Sunday afternoons.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you have it ready for the week.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you have the meal and, you know, you think you might not get to finish it or what have you, they freeze super well too. So let's say that this week maybe I ordered a few too many, or I forgot I'm going out for dinner with my friends.
Yes.
You know, you can freeze those meals, save them. And yeah, so if you're in Winnipeg and you want fresh meals delivered to your door every week,
prairiebox.com.
come talk to us.
I'll definitely be putting, I'm going to put like a little website right there.
Oh,
you're going to
perfect.
see it. You're going to see it eventually
Right
when I make the, okay, right there.
Oh, I don't know, right there.
Yeah, somewhere. All right. So, you know, I always like to ask this question of local business owners because, you know, I'm very happy with my city. I love my city so much. And I want to know from you, what is it that you are just loving about Winnipeg right now? What makes you proud to call this place your home?
You know what? I mean, I'm gonna answer this with a bias because I'm a prairie boy.
It's
but
the trucks.
It's the trucks. It's the F-150s. You know what?
Inside joke.
Yeah, it's everything though. It's you know, there's that cliche of the seasons.
Yes.
But that's true. Like I've had dreams about skating.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone is really kind of salt of the earth, really nice, and again, it's a city on the rise right now. That's the vibe that I get from it.
Yes,
is that
Winnipeg.
People are open to new things. You know, there's tons of cool, vibrant new businesses, new this, new that happening, and it just feels like people are, yeah. Okay, you got it.
Wrapping up this conversation about Prairie Box subscription meal box plan, okay? prairiebox.com. Lewis and Brandon will hook you up. What do you want to tell the people?
Listen, if you don't want to cook, if you want fresh, handmade meals, maybe you don't have the time to cook it yourself, maybe you don't want to cook it yourself, maybe you just want to try something new, head on over to www.prairiebox.com. You can sign up for a week, get you between 4 and 12 meals every week, and you know, you can, there's no commitment, and let's just get some good, healthy, convenient meals in your hands. Save some time.
Absolutely. Buy local, support local.
That's right.
Let's talk about this fresh, healthy option for you and your family. Okay? So, prairiebox.com. This is Natalie Bell, aka Peg City Lovely, signing off today as I chat with Lewis. Thank you so much for coming out with me today as we have our little walk on the riverfront, or waterfront. Waterfront.
Same
Waterfront. Same thing. And we're off. Bye.